and just like going in on the inside of the country, like that's when I was just like, damn, I'm lucky. I'm so lucky to live here. I'm so lucky to call this place home because possible.
Okay, so just random questions in my head right now.
Sure.
A lot of people say like, the beach in Jamaica, locals can't access, you have to be a tourist. Is that true though?
No. I've heard that before.
So what was the biggest culture shock for you?
So the biggest culture shock for me, I think, was one, initially thinking that I knew and understood the culture. So I came in with a very American attitude.
Do you regret moving fast? Do you regret moving to Jamaica?
Initially, I think there was, I wouldn't say regret, but a lot of questions I was asking myself. You're looking at about 1 to 1.5 million US per acre on the beachfront property.
Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Greetings, good people, and welcome to Negril Jamaica. A lot of you told me that I needed to meet this entrepreneur who moved from America to Jamaica 18 years ago. So today I'm going to be meeting Throp, and we're going to have a conversation about, you know, everything, moving to Jamaica and having and starting a business. So come with me and let's meet. Come with me and let's go to Travelers Negril Jamaica. So come with me and yeah, here we are. This is Travelers. So let me show you the sign first before we meet Throp. So that's Travelers Negril Jamaica. Here we go. Here we are. This is Travelers Negril Jamaica. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Excellent, welcome to Travelers.
Thank you, Travelers. Welcome home. So this is home here in Negril.
That's right.
All right.
Everyone's home away from home.
Home away from home. Everyone's home away from home.
That's right.
That's lovely. Smells good. That's the first thing I'm able to perceive. So we are here with Throp, one of the content creators and proprietors, right?
That's right.
Yeah, of this lovely, beautiful place. It looks so serene.
Thank you very much. This is a 60-room property and located on the world-famous 7-mile beach of Negril, Jamaica.
Yeah.
And we have a pool with a swim-up bar and a grotto. We have a gym, a family room, a bar and restaurant as well.
All right.
So maybe I can walk you down to the beach and we can have a seat and have a little discussion.
All right, lovely. Let's go there. I love what it looks. This place reminds me so much of actually the coast of Kenya.
Oh, really?
Generally, Negril gives me that vibe.
Okay,
the resort,
amazing.
the beach, the palm trees everywhere. It reminds me so much about the coast of Kenya.
I gotta come to Kenya.
Oh, you should. You will definitely love it. Oh, you have the Travelers inside the pool, like it's written,
Yes, that's
inscribed
right.
inside the pool.
Oh, my dad's idea.
Huh?
My dad's idea.
Your dad's idea?
His
Oh, that's
idea.
his. Oh,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
father's idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good branding.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Yeah. Ooh, so this place is just directly right at the beachfront. You're so lucky.
Very lucky. Very grateful.
Oh, wow. Wow, so finally we are here at Travelers Beach Resort and I am with Throp here. thanks to everybody who suggested that I should meet him because I didn't know about it, and I'm so happy to finally meet you. I guess you didn't understand when I was texting you on your live stream.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't get it, yeah. So he runs this place, and we would love to learn more about here, and would love to know about your story. You moved from New York to this place.
Yeah.
So maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us a little more about yourself.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. So, as Lynn mentioned, my name is Winthrop Wellington, otherwise known as Throp, and that's also the name of my YouTube channel. And I moved to here in Jamaica, Negril, back in 2006, so 18 years, which is kind of crazy, after undergraduate, and I decided to join my family business here, Travelers Beach Resort, and work under my dad for a few years as a junior hotelier, if you will, and then did that for 4 years, went to business school. And then after business school, I moved back, and then my dad retired, and me and my 2 brothers took over the property, and we've been essentially running it ever since.
So where were you born and where did you grow up? Tell us a little more about your background.
Sure. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So I was born and raised in New York, in Long Island, and basically from when I was 0 till 22, that's where I called home.
Oh, so you moved to Jamaica at 22?
That's right.
Oh, wow. So are your parents originally from Jamaica?
One of them is. So my dad is from here, from Jamaica,
Yeah.
and my mom is from Fiji.
Oh,
Have you
lovely.
been there already?
No, but I've seen them in movies.
Okay.
I've seen them in rugby.
Yes.
Yeah,
very good
rugby,
players,
and
that's
yeah,
right.
like they're always like big and mean. Yeah, I would love to visit someday. Okay, so your family had this business, or did they just start it? How long has the business been in place?
Sure, good question. So my dad, born and raised here, and he moved to England first when he was 19, and then after that, he moved over to the States, and he started working, various different jobs, and
Yeah.
eventually started a gypsy cab service in New York. And we're talking about this is in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
And how he started that business was that at that time, New Yorkers, particularly in Brooklyn, black New Yorkers that is, couldn't get taxi cabs because they were racist. So him and his friends decided to get some, illegal vehicles and to take black people to work. And he started, from there, he eventually became legal and started a livery cab service in New York. And he started a company called Winthrop Car Service.
What?
Winthrop Car Service.
Oh, Winthrop.
That's what I'm named after, actually.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he had that business for, I think, 35 years until he sold it. It's still around now today. He sold it. I think it's been sold twice since then. But during that time, he was also a travel agent. And so in many ways, he was very much part of the initial leisure travel movement back then. So he's been to over 100 different countries.
Wow.
Been to Kenya quite a few times. He's been to 27 different African nations, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's more than half.
And that's where he got the inspiration to start Travelers. And that's where the name came from, because he was traveling all over the world. And so when he first started and bought the property in 92 and officially opened in 94. And this, if you can imagine, you've been around on the grill a little bit, back then there was not even, I would think, a quarter of the properties that exist here. Everything was just bush and mangrove.
Bush. Oh,
all the way
wow.
down. So even this property, it was just the jungle. And he just bought the land bare, and he started off with one of our bungalow cabins here and slowly built off of the revenue off from there. And so he was going back and forth with his business in New York with a taxi company, and then coming here trying to build, and he slowly grew it, did everything self-financed, no bank loans or anything like that. And he did that for about 18 years until me and my brothers came down and took over from him.
Wow, that was like a very smart move. That was a smart move. Like, who would have thought maybe if this place was a bush, who would have thought like it would be what it is right now? Probably right now, the cost is probably 1,000 times higher.
Oh, for sure. You know, they say like you're looking at about 1 to 1.5 million US per acre on the beachfront property. And then that's like just land alone. And that's if you can find somebody that's going to sell.
Per acre or per quarter acre?
Per acre.
Per acre. And there's nobody who's willing to sell right now since people know the value, right? So, had you been to Jamaica before you moved to join the family business?
Very infrequently. Like, me and my brothers used to come down in the summer for about 3 weeks at a time, and that's about it. And I always say, like, and this goes for anywhere, like living somewhere and vacationing somewhere is totally different. Like doing business here and vacationing here, very, very different experiences, very, very different lifestyles. And I'll even say, like, I thought I understood the culture, especially having grown up with a Jamaican father. So like my parents were divorced growing up, but I lived with my dad.
Yeah.
And so culturally our household was very much a Jamaican household, from the food we ate to like the manners that we have, et cetera, et cetera. But you think you know it, and then even coming down in the summers, you think you understand the culture.
Yeah.
But no, I was very much an American coming into
wow.
this situation when I moved here.
So, what was the biggest culture shock for you?
So the biggest culture shock for me, I think, was one, initially thinking that I knew and understood the culture. And so I just came in like just not mentally prepared. And I think the onus was definitely like on me and my approach coming here, right? And so I came in with a very American attitude, and I was essentially pushing my norms onto an existing culture here.
Yeah.
And growing up in America, we're very much brainwashed, I'll tell you that right now, in terms of thinking and really like knowing, quote unquote, that we are the best at everything and the way that we do things is the best. But it's true. It's true. And so there was an element of arrogance that I came in with.
Yeah.
And there was a frustration that I was creating for myself because it was like, why aren't they doing it this way? And it was also from like two perspectives. It was like trying to be a business owner, manager, learn the business, and trying to implement what I looked and thought was more efficient and effective ways of doing things and within the business, and then also trying to learn and understand the culture of doing business here as well. So that process, like every country has its own levels of bureaucracy, but here is just different. And I was very much frustrating the heck out of myself of like trying to fix things and trying to change things and adjust things and realizing, and it took me like over a year. It took me, I think, a solid year for me to like fully transition and understand / accept the way certain things are. And I'm not saying that like things can't change or adjustments can't be made. And there have been great adjustments and great improvement in efficiencies like across the board in this country since I've been here for the last 18 years. But change takes time, you know.
18, you say 18?
Yeah, 18
Oh,
years.
I thought you said 8.
No, 18.
18
Yeah,
years.
so quite some time.
Oh, wow, that's such a long time.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I totally get where you're coming from in that point, because I do sometimes interact with some people, especially when they're coming from the West and then like maybe America. Sometimes they really don't understand why some things are in a certain way, and now like it's a frustration for the person and for the locals, because you'll have to understand what's in the mind of this local person before you try to, you know. They always say seek to understand before you get understood.
There you go, I like that.
Yeah, so
I like
you seek
that.
to understand before you get to be understood. So why is this person doing this? Yeah. Anyway, so is your father from this parish?
No, he was born in Mandeville and he grew up in Kingston. Yeah.
So moving from America to Jamaica, how easy was it? Like, did you have to go through some convincing, like your dad telling you, no, you must calm down, or like, how was it? How easy was it for you to just be like, yeah, I'm going to Jamaica?
That's pretty much what it was. Like, I will say, like, my dad never had an expectation or set an expectation for us, like, you have to move here, you have to come and join the business.
Yeah.
And on, like, my side of things, and I remember thinking back in, like, my senior year of college, like, I was a business finance major, and I really didn't put a lot of thought into it. I just remember, like, being in my apartment in Albany, New York, and I was going through the process that everybody else was going through, like this rat race of trying to get the first job, going through interviews, and I was in, like, second round interviews at the time with Morgan Stanley, and I was just like, it was like a knee-jerk decision. I was just like, why am I doing this? Like, I have a business in Jamaica that my dad set up, and I remember that November of my senior year, I was like, I'm just gonna move to Jamaica. So I just stopped the interview process and didn't go to to any more, and I decided I was gonna move to Jamaica that June, and that's kind of the most thought I put into it.
Oh, all right. So what are the challenges you faced apart from just the frustrations? Any other challenges that you faced or that someone might really face when they're moving to Jamaica?
Sure. I think there's, like, I didn't anticipate the culture shock, and then the shock of just moving from one country to another, and like what those differences really are. And like, ignorance is bliss, right? And maybe if I knew what that transition was going to be like and what I would have to go through, maybe I wouldn't have done it. And one of the biggest parts that I was missing, especially at that time, was like the social aspect of it. And I had tremendous FOMO. Like, all my friends, they were in their early 20s, New York City, first job, going to happy hour. Like, this is the dream. Like, everybody, especially like growing up in Long Island, is like, the whole thing is like, get to the city. How do we move to this city and be like Friends, or be like whatever, like the TV show.
Yeah.
And like, live this New York City life that everybody wants to live. And like, all my friends were doing it, and they were doing it like in the biggest ways it looked like back then. And so my first year, I was going back to New York like every single month, because like, I was just so homesick. Like, I was homesick, I missed my friends. FOMO, like my mom was there too. And so like, I was going back all the time, and like, I wanted to experience those happy hours and like going out and everything like that, and just doing like silly things in the summer that New York City has to offer. And so that's one thing that like, I didn't think of. And then also, especially again at that time, like, it was hard to make friends here too, of like the same mindset. Mind you, like, keep in mind, like, living in rural Negril, so to speak, compared to living in like a Montego Bay, or even especially a Kingston, is very different. You know, you're gonna interact with just so, like, a much more diverse crowd of people, right? And you have a lot of professionals there. I'm speaking specifically about Jamaicans who are like trying to climb their own corporate ladders. There's an entrepreneurial scene out there. There's a big entrepreneurial scene out there, and there's a much better social scene out there as well. Where here is in Negril, it's like everything is like centered around tourism, and you don't necessarily have like a big conglomerate of especially young people who are like also ambitious and maybe trying to start their own business, or maybe they're trying to climb the corporate ladder, and maybe they're interested in going to grad school. Like, that didn't exist. And so I remember saying to myself, like, the first 4 years, like, I thought I was like getting stupider, and like, that was like a very big inspiration for me to go to grad school, because like, I just wasn't being challenged like intellectually by my peers, like whether it be like political debates or you know, talking about business and finance. Like, none of that. I had nobody giving me any sort of feedback. And then also even like the dating scene as well. There was definitely no dating apps back then either. And then so like meeting, even if there was, like who are you gonna meet out here in Negril, right? That's kind of meet you and challenge you in like a different way. So also like kind of meeting somebody locally. So you did get elements of that, like with like say. Like I remember, like I just thought of like a specific guest in general, specifically that like we always have like these political debates about like geopolitics, American politics, and like I need that, you know, just like somebody who just doesn't agree with me, and then like you said, you're seeking understanding from that person, and you want to know how that person's brain is working and why they think the way they do and why don't they agree with you.
Yeah.
And so that was missing for me for the first 4 years, so that was very challenging. And then, you know, I went to grad school, which helped tremendously. And then also like the technology gap started to shrink as well. So, you know, ebooks came out. So, you know, you can download on your Kindle, podcast became like a big thing, and then YouTube. So you have these things that like you can challenge yourself in different ways. From a technology standpoint, you can learn about things.
So which year was this? 2000?
So I moved here in 2006 initially.
Oh.
Did 4 years, and then in 2010 I went to grad school and to business school, and then I moved back in 2011.
Do you regret moving fast? Do you regret moving to Jamaica?
Initially, I think there was, I wouldn't say regret, but a lot of questions I was asking myself. And I remember like one of my really good friends, Esther, we went to Albany together, to undergrads together, and she came down to visit me. I remember like we were right there at the bar, and she was like, man, you do not look like the same Throp that I knew in college. And she's just like, you don't look happy. And I played it off, but at the time, like, I don't think I was happy here, you know? And I think that came a lot from just like not understanding what I was getting myself into. And then I just didn't have the presence of mind to also adjust, you know, and to really understand like my mind was just going through this huge transition. And I didn't prepare myself for this transition. And what really helped actually was until after grad school when I moved back here and I started to explore the islands. And like when I started driving around the island and doing road trips, that's when I started to like really appreciate Jamaica. It's like going to Port Antonio, spending time in Ochi, and Montego Bay, Treasure Beach, and just like going in on the inside of the country. Like that's when I was just like, damn, I'm lucky. I'm so lucky to live here. I'm so lucky to call this place home, because like all of my friends, like as much as I had FOMO with my friends and them climbing the corporate ladder, they were like, no, man, you got to figure it out. Like they wanted my life, you know, and it was just like this whole grass is greener on the other side thing. And they thought that I had the best setup, but
you didn't say it.
No. I didn't see it, and it took me many years to really understand and appreciate what I have here, the life I have here, and especially like even now, like I appreciate Jamaica more, especially when I travel. Like I just came back from Colombia, and I love Colombia. I'm definitely gonna go back, but man. Yeah, like this is home, you know, and like, but that happens anytime like I spend a significant amount of time outside of Jamaica. There's like Jamaica has its problems, don't get me wrong. It has many challenges here, but overall, like this is like a great place to live and to call home.
So when you moved, did you move with your siblings, your brother? Like the first time you came and you are...
No, so I'm the oldest of my brothers.
Okay.
So we're 1 year apart. So after the following year, my middle brother moved down, and then my youngest brother, he worked for PwC for a couple of years to get his CPA, and then after he got that, then he moved down. So it was like kind of one after the other kind of thing.
Okay. And what's the best part, or what did you love most when you moved to Jamaica?
What did I love most? back then, I don't know what I loved.
You are focused on the negative, on what you are missing out.
No, honestly, like, I think I was just more focused on what I was missing out on. I could tell you, and it's so shameful what I'm about to say, is like, there probably was a 1.5 to 2 year period where like, I just didn't go in the water. I didn't go on the beach. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was just so, like, that was like a two-sided coin. Like one side of those coins was just like, I was so very much focused on the business and like learning it and just like having all this energy and focus towards the business and like staying just on mission, so to speak. But then also the other side of that coin was like, I just didn't appreciate Jamaica. I just didn't appreciate what I had.
So what was the turning point for you? What happened, or at what time did you realize, like, I have the best life ever?
I think there was 3 turning points.
Yeah.
So one was like being in business school.
Yeah.
And when I was in business school, and I went to an entrepreneurial school,
Yeah.
and it was being amongst other entrepreneurs and other family business owners that I was like, man, I'm in a very special fraternity and I have a very, very special opportunity with what I have in Jamaica. So many of the business projects that I had and did in business school was like Travelers Beach Resort Hotel Negril focused, and I was able to like apply my experience being down here with the academic learnings that I was having in real time. So that was like one that really made me have a real understanding and appreciation for the business side and being down here in Jamaica and having a beachfront property on one of the top 10 beaches in the world, right?
Yeah.
The second turning point was, like I said, when I started traveling around Jamaica. I was actually with a friend from Canada. He started taking me places. He's not even Jamaican at all. And he started taking me to different places that he always went to. And I was like, man, this is just such a beautiful country. And the culture and the people, like everybody's Jamaican, yes, in Jamaica, but there's like just slight variations in culture, especially like when you get into like the real country of Jamaica. You're just like, not that the people in Negril are not nice, people in Negril are very nice, but like they're even nicer, you know, they're even just more homely and warm. And like I really, really appreciated that about other parts of the country. And like the third real turnaround, I would say, is kind of like just before I started my my YouTube channel. So it's like 2017. So right around then is when I started creating content. So 2 things I guess really started happening. Like I started creating content on Jamaica, and so like then you started really learning about Jamaica, and like so you start making like almost analytical comparisons of Jamaica to the United States that I was doing, like by the numbers, by the lifestyle. And then, you know, when Trump was in power as well, this is like, man, I'm just like not in any of that foolishness that's going on. And I was just very happy to be here, and like even talking to my friends and everything like that, who all have like amazing, great careers, great jobs, great families, like American dream, like to the nth degree. And they were continuing to be very envious of like my situation here. And then also I had the presence of mind and foresight to like understand their situation a little bit more on a more intimate level. And like, not that I'm comparing the two in a sense, but just having an understanding of their situation and how great their lives are. I just had like a much better appreciation for my situation here, and I think I really got into a groove because also at that time, like I moved outside of the hotel business, outside of the operations of the hotel, I should say, and then more into like starting my own company down here and getting into media and getting into YouTube content creation and that sort of thing. And I kind of had the ability to make Jamaica, at least for the last, I would say, 6-7 years, kind of make Jamaica and do Jamaica like my way.
Okay. So apart from the hotel business, what else do you do?
Sure. So I have a media company, and a lot of it is focused on my YouTube channel, creating content for that, doing podcasts. But I just love being a creative. So even just doing like other content for other people, doing weddings, I'm lucky enough to done shots. I should say shoots in the States, New York, Florida. It took me to Africa for the first time. So last
Africa,
year,
where?
I went to South Africa.
Oh, okay.
So I went there and I shot a yoga retreat there, and like with the same company, I shot a yoga retreat in Mexico and Tulum in the fall, and like just my passion for creativity like opened up the world for me in ways that I could only have dreamed of.
All right. So I'm just curious, like this was family property. Was it always like this, or 18 years ago was it like this, or when you came there's some adjustments you've made on the property?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, like what I mean, your dad,
Yeah.
your dad started this, but like, have you added anything to it, or you know?
Sure. So 18 years, like I will say we gotta like put things in perspective, right? So 2006, we're talking about maybe 2 years max before the global financial crisis at the time, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that also played into the fact like being miserable down here, because basically like almost like the first 4 years was like most of that was like we were a struggling business, because it was just a challenging time for everybody, globally. And but it really got me to cut my teeth early, and like it showed me like the dark side of entrepreneurship. And like I thought like this is what it meant to be an entrepreneur, just like being in the red and struggling. I was like, okay, I guess this is my life. I'm gonna be a struggling business owner, right? And so to start, like that's what it was. There wasn't much change there. Like my idea was just like learning the business, and but at that time, for the most part, like the fundamental infrastructure was in place. Like we had 60 rooms when I started. We have 60 rooms today.
Yeah.
And so when I came back after business school, that's when I would say the implementation of the changes that you may see now had started. And so 2011, we literally had this ceremony where my dad handed over the keys of the resort to me and my brothers, and then we took over. And I would say for the first almost 2 years, visually, you probably wouldn't have seen anything change with the resort whatsoever, because where the business was coming off the back end of the financial crisis, I always say it took the skill set of me and my brothers to bring the business to a sustainable level, let's call it. And so having my youngest brother at the time as a CPA was huge. My middle brother, he's in IT. And so, doing all of our online marketing, our Wi-Fi, everything here, and then, me doing finance, it took all three of our skill sets to transition travelers to a point of sustainability. And so we essentially just modernized the hotel, if you will, and took what my dad had and started with, and we just added on to it. And then in 2017, my youngest brother, Wingate, he took over the property from me in that summer. And so he's been running it since. And then he has been taking it, I was, Travelers version 2. My dad was version 1. Wingate is definitely in phase 3, taking things to a level that I don't think we would have imagined. It's still being worked on now.
Yeah.
We're still working on it, but just really, I would say, major changes. But even with him, one of the he's done. We redid the lobby. We did all of we paid homage to what my dad started with, which is the bungalow. So if you can imagine, and so what my dad started with was these cabins that were fan cooled with louver windows and these wooden structures, and now they become one of our most popular accommodations. Like everybody wants them, and so it was like we completely, or Wingate, I should say, and his team completely redesigned them and turned it into just a more modern version of what they were in the past. And because at one point we were actually thinking of like getting rid of them, because if you look at how much space they take up, we could put a 2-story building there. But instead we decided like, nope, instead of adding rooms, we're gonna pay homage to what my dad started with and elevate them and make them the most popular room there. You know, our restaurant is doing really well. It was one of the, you know, and any hotelier will tell you, like, the hardest part of running a hotel is the restaurant. Like, it's
Food.
man, it's just it's just like it's 24/7. You just got to be extremely meticulous. You got to like the weighing, like everything. And so that was one of our biggest pain points as a hotel for a long time. You know, my dad struggled with it. Like he leased out the restaurant, I want to say at least 2 to 3 times in his tenure, because it was just such a headache. But even those leases just didn't work out. And so, you know, I'm proud to say it's like one of our strengths now is our restaurant, the food, the service that we have here, and something that we're very proud of, but also something we're looking to improve on in a massive way.
Yeah, I know restaurants is tough business. My family ran a restaurant at some point, and it's one of the hardest businesses to do.
Yeah, definitely is.
So do you see yourself like maybe expanding, like maybe having more hotels or more properties within the island?
Yeah, we definitely have ambitions to grow. We want to, more than anything else, like we always like use this term, we want to complete the traveler's product. And if you can imagine, like a hotel is very capital intensive,
yeah.
And you're never done. You're never done. You're always upgrading. You're always doing it. We're trying to get it to a point where, like, maybe we can do like a refurbishment every 5 or 7, like a major renovation, like every 5 or 7 years, so we can keep up with the market. But the way my dad did it, and this is not like a blaming situation, like this is like how he had to do it. This is like with the revenue coming in, he could do this part, he could do that part, hire that person to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so the property, like throughout its lifespan, you'd have like, okay, the rooms are really good, but maybe the pool is down here, or the beach is, you know, that sort of thing. So there wasn't like parity across all the different amenities.
Yeah.
And so we want to get everything up to like the highest level that we possibly can, get that running, have like a strong team. Here, and then when we feel confident enough, then we can move on to another property.
Okay, all right. Where's your father now?
He's here in Negril. He's at home.
He
not on
moved.
property.
Oh, in another property?
No, he's not here on property. He's at his home here in Negril.
So he's not in the business anymore?
No. He's, like I said, he's been out of the business since 2011. Like now he focuses on our family's nonprofit organization, the Negril Education Environment Trust. So
Okay.
he does a lot of educational philanthropic work here in the Negril area.
All right. For someone who is looking at this, I mean, I've had conversation and people always talk about building generational wealth and things like that. So do you think it's so late right now for someone to get something in Negril?
Oh, no, absolutely not. And that is, in a big way, a large part of what my channel is about, and encouraging people to do is to like get in on the Jamaica train, and especially the Negril train, as soon as possible. And I try to encourage as much as I possibly can Jamaicans who are living abroad, who are part of the Jamaican diaspora, is like to invest in Jamaica now, because like Jamaica is like so hot. And I always say, I've been here 18 years. I've never seen the type of money that's coming into the country right now. I've never seen the type of money that is coming into the greater Negril area that I've seen now. And I'm talking about Jamaica as a whole is the billions of US dollars. In this area alone, we're talking about tens of millions of US dollars that are coming here. And I think people are finally starting to wake up to Negril specifically. But then if you look at, and like it's not a political statement at all, like, but if you just look at the investments and the deals the government has been making in the last 7 years, it's completely changed Jamaica like in such a very rapid succession. And I think like the trajectory that we're on is just going to be accelerated by a lot of these investments actually coming through fruition. And so I think now is still a great opportunity, great time to get into, whether it's real estate, whether it's starting a business here. It's a great time to do that. And so like a lot of Jamaicans are saying, oh, I want to come home, but they're concerned about the crime situation that we have here. And I think, and that's a valid concern, but I also think that a lot of the things that happen are sensationalized. They're real, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is very much in pockets more than anything else. And I always say, like, knock on wood, like most of the crime that happens, it's not random here. You know, it's not like somebody's like, and I was just thinking about this last night. Like, I'm just so thankful. Like, Negril is not a place, I'll speak for Negril, but specifically, but like Negril is not a place like you're gonna get pickpocketed.
Yeah.
Negril is not a place where you're gonna go in the parking lot and you're gonna find your window smashed in and your bag gone or your car stolen. And it's just like, it's just not like that. And I'm saying that more so because like when I was in Colombia, not to speak badly of Colombia, but like that is a real concern that you have when you go there. And like I was warned about that like so many times. And you know, thankfully like I never felt unsafe there the entire time. But here, it's just like those sort of things, even as a visitor, you don't have to worry about. Like, and crime against visitors here is less than 1%, as a matter of fact. So I consider Jamaica and Negril specifically to be a relatively safe place, and I don't like feel like I have to like be on like always turning my head and looking behind my back or anything like that. So I encourage people, like, don't allow like what you see in the headlines. If like there is something specifically that is concerning to you, don't just read the headlines, like look into it a little bit further and don't allow it to dissuade you, because I always say it's just like these investors who are investing tens of millions and some of them billions of US dollars, they're reading the same exact headlines that you are, yet they're still coming.
They're still
here.
coming,
They're
and
still
you are
investing.
trying to find excuses. You're looking for excuses not to do it, because if you didn't do it 10 years ago, right now it's 10 times the price or 100 times the price. Yeah. So what industries would be best for someone who's interested in investing here in Negril?
So the first thing that comes to mind when you ask that question is real estate, because I don't mean to sensationalize the fact that we have like a housing crisis. I don't mean to use that term, but I don't lightly in a sense, because we really don't have enough housing here. So say for example, like maybe you're a digital nomad and you want to either move here or spend a, say, extended period of time down here, 3 months, and you're used to like having modern accommodations or housing in New York City or maybe South Beach, Miami, like new construction, Wi-Fi, and like all these different amenities. There is nowhere in Negril that you can get that, or I would just say nowhere. Very limited housing for that type of traveler or that type of resident. And so there is like a great need for that. And so I always say, like, you know, maybe you don't have the money to do maybe like a 50-unit development or something like that, but maybe you can do a 10-unit development, or, you know, get your friends together to pool some money together and do an investment like that, because there is land available. You don't necessarily need to be on this beach, but people want to be in Jamaica. People want to be in Negril, but they also want to be comfortable. And they also, especially like the modern traveler and the modern nomad, there is a certain level of accommodations that they're used to and that they expect. And I don't think Negril is meeting that demand from a residential standpoint. On the hotel standpoint, we got everything. You know, we got we got your bed and breakfast, we got your 5-star hotels and everything in between. But from like a residential standpoint, and you also got to think from the perspective, like I'm always trying to encourage people like to move here as well and to live here, and like, but in order to do that, we got to have somewhere for them to stay, you know, and like to have a sustainable community. I believe, you know, we really do need young families coming in here and to raise their kids, to invest here, to do business here, and that sort of thing. And so I think there's great opportunity, great opportunity in real estate development.
So approximately how much would someone need to be able to afford like a property? We're not talking about the beachfront, because the beachfront right now, Jamaica is hot, is,
Yeah.
you know, like millions of US dollars, I believe. But let me say someone moves maybe like somewhere, like maybe Beach Road 2, 3. I don't know if do you call them Beach Road 1, 2, 3? Okay,
No,
like, okay, in Kenya,
yeah,
we
sure.
call them like, this would be Beach Road 1,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
beachfront. Then we have like 2, and then Beach Road 2 mostly is past the road, you see the
Sure.
road, and then after the road and all that. So approximately how much would someone need to acquire a property, let's say even half an acre or an acre?
Okay, so I'll answer that question in 2 ways. So so let's start with beachfront property. So there is 2 gated communities. One is called Point Village, which is like basically the end point there, like right across from the islands. That's where that gated community is. And they have a 1-bedroom apartment going for, and you have your own 2 private beaches and 2 pools. But it's a dated property. I say that first and foremost. 1-bedroom apartment going for $325,000 US dollars. There's
325
$325,000.
for 1 bedroom
1-bedroom apartment.
to own it.
To own it, yes. To own it. And so then there is another gated community called Little Bay Country Club, which is a little bit further north than Point Village. Has its own private beach. I believe it's man-made. I don't think it's not the best beach, but it's a beach, right? But it's not on the strip.
Yeah.
And you're looking at, and it's actually townhouse. You're looking at 2-bedroom. I believe it was $500,000 US dollars. You know, somewhere in that ballpark. And if I have that mistaken, we'll put it on the screen.
Okay, all right.
The actual price. So those are like completed turnkey structures. Now, as far as like buying land, let's go to like the West End, right? And
Yeah.
so that's where you're
I'm
staying now
staying
there.
at the West
So
End now.
if you're going to the West End and going to the Cliffs, my friend bought, this is early West End, like before you get to Rick's Cafe.
Yeah.
He bought, I feel like it's a 1/4 of an acre, less than a 1/4 of an acre of land 5 years ago for $40,000.
What?
And I think it was like 37 actually.
Wow.
And he's building his house on there now. And he's building a 4-bedroom villa. Beautiful, beautiful
Ooh.
4-bedroom villa. But now those lots are going for 60,000.
60,000.
Yeah. If you want, and there's another gated community called Vista Bella, and that's on Nampro Road on downtown. He's selling his lots. They are about 10,000 square feet, and they're going for, on average, $100,000 US dollars. And that's for like, but that's not like for a multi-unit. That's for like a single home.
Okay, and how easy is it for a foreigner to own property here in Jamaica?
Very easy. I would say doing business here as a foreigner and owning property as a foreigner is like, in Jamaica, is like the easiest thing. Like anybody, Jamaica is very open when it comes to that. The main thing that you need to do anything substantial in this country is what they call a TRN, which is a tax registration number. And the best analogy is the Social Security number, like the closest thing. So it's basically a way of collecting your taxes. So even to open a bank account, you need to have a TRN number.
TRN number.
And so, yeah, very easy. You don't need to be a citizen to do any of that.
Okay. And Are you both Jamaican and American?
I'm Jamaican and Fijian by blood, and culturally
Citizenship?
for sure. So, oh yeah. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Yes, I have dual citizenship.
Oh, you have a dual citizenship.
Yes.
So you have Jamaican citizenship and American citizenship.
That's right. I have both passports.
Oh, okay. How easy is it to get citizenship in Jamaica?
So if you're Jamaican descent, so I believe even your grandparents, you can get your citizenship. I got it because my dad is Jamaican. I did this like pretty much when I first moved here, and it was a very simple process. Just filling out paperwork took about 6 months. I heard it's cut down to 3 months now, and you can get it. But if you want to become like a naturalized citizen through, I guess through residency, it takes a few years. I'm not exactly familiar with the process, but it's very possible. I know many people who became naturalized citizens.
Okay.
And very, very possible.
Okay, so just random questions in my head right now. A lot of people say like, the beach in Jamaica, locals can't access. You have to be a tourist. Is that true though?
No. I've heard that before.
So can I just come and swim in front here, in front of your beach?
This is a public beach. No property, no business owner along here can tell you that you can't be here.
So I can go and swim here, where the place you put the inside there?
So we can't stop you from swimming there, like no. But if you to use our loungers or
the lounge,
like that,
the seats, yes.
That's particularly for
the
our
guests, but the water is free, and walking on the beach.
Walking on the beach, nobody can tell you that you can't walk here.
So what's this thing that people talk about, like the beach in Jamaica, I uploaded a video and people are telling me like, oh, locals can't access the beach. I'm like, I don't know.
That's BS. You see where the police just came down? That's a public access road. So that right there, which splits us and the next property, that is, and as far as I'm concerned, that will forever be accessible by locals. We have a local beach, Long Bay Beach Park, which is up north on the northern part of the beach. We have the Negril Beach Park as well, and these are set areas. So like, if you want to come, you want to barbecue, bring food, you can come and do that. So there's designated areas, but as far as traversing, swimming, like nobody can tell you.
No one can tell you, no, you can't swim here.
No, nobody can tell you that.
Oh, all right. Okay, that's
so this is very public. And I don't know if there was a documentary that came out, like, I watched half of it, like, but I couldn't get through it because it was like, half of it was like complete BS that came out like late last year. And I think this is what spurred people. And saying that, there was just like a lot of misinformation in the documentary that was created. I don't even want to say the name of the YouTube channel.
I think I did see the documentary as well.
And it's just like, it's crap. It's complete crap. Not to say that there isn't property and beachfront property in other parts of the island that are being bought by foreign conglomerates that are making private. I'm not saying that that's not happening, but to create this and sensationalize that Jamaicans don't have access to beaches, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I get that in the comments. I just wanted to see to get some clarification, and also from you as a beachfront property owner, wanted to understand if I'm allowed to swim in front of this area that you've marked, even if I'm not staying here. So at least hearing it from you, that makes, some clarification. All right. So do you any parting shots, anything that you'd love to share with the audience?
Yeah. Come to Jamaica.
Come to Jamaica.
Come to Jamaica. You have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Come to Negril and see one of the top 10 beaches in the world. I don't think you'll regret it. I think you'll really enjoy the culture here, the people, the food especially. That's one thing that I definitely miss.
Your favorite food is?
Excuse me?
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is Jamaican food, but Jamaican food aside, I would say is Italian food.
Okay, like what Jamaican food is your favorite food?
Oh, definitely Jamaican breakfast. I think we have the best breakfast in the world.
So what does it include?
Sure, ackee and saltfish.
Ackee and saltfish,
yam, banana, fried dumpling, fritters, fried plantain, sometimes escabeche fish, callaloo, and then a fresh plate of fruits.
Awesome,
And
awesome.
of course, can't forget the Blue Mountain coffee.
All right, Blue Mountain Coffee.
Yes.
Everybody tells me I need to visit there. So do you still do road trips on your own? Like, do you still do road trips on the island?
Yeah. I haven't done one in a while, but you know, I'm heading to South Coast next week for sure, to Treasure Beach, one of my favorite places on the
Treasure
island.
Beach.
Yeah.
Which parish?
That's in St. Elizabeth.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's like an hour and a half from here. Very, very beautiful part of the island. If you think Negril laid back, they're even more laid back over there.
Ah.
And very, very, there's a place that you kind of go to chill and just do nothing. And they also have very good food there as well.
Oh, okay. This is also very important. Sorry, I forgot to ask about it. But how is it like? I don't know. Do you have a family here? Not like your brother, sister, like a family of your own. How is it like raising like someone who has a family and thinks about moving to Jamaica? How is it like for the kids, school, and all that?
Sure. So no, I don't have a wife or kids or anything like that. So I can't speak to that directly as far as from an experience standpoint. But here in Negril, I guess it depends, because like my friend, he's probably gonna kill me for saying this. So he has four young boys, 4 young kids, and he had his kids going here. But he was in another parish, so maybe that's not a good example. But it's funny you asked me that, because like people have asked me that, like who want to move here with young families, and it's very possible. You know, we have multiple schools here downtown. The only thing that I would say that I guess people get used to it, but it also sucks, is like we don't have a high school in Negril. So if you want to get, so we have one of the best high schools in Jamaica here in Westmoreland, in Mannings, but it's a 45-minute drive. And we do have a lot of students and a lot of kids who live here in Negril that do make that commute every day, but that is pretty rough. But that's always something that I'm advocating for, is getting a high school here.
Getting a high school in
Yeah.
Negril. Anyway, 45 minutes commute is nothing for me. Yeah, less than an hour. That's okay. Yeah, it's like when you live in a big city and you get stuck in traffic for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
No
I
problem.
do appreciate your time. Thank you for taking your time. And please, if you're watching this, go check out his YouTube channel. You'll find the link in the description if you want to learn more. He has some amazing content about Jamaica and a lot of content about Negril. Do you know, I was actually planning to be in Negril for 2 days with my friend.
Yeah?
You won't believe it.
And how long have you been here?
Over a week.
Oh, that's what Negril does to people. It just kind of just ropes you in.
Yeah, so we were like 2 days and then we met, you know, and then we were like, I don't think we should live here.
Awesome. I love it. Stay as long as you like.
Yeah, so we've ended up staying here longer. So if you want to see more about Negril and Jamaica, go check out his YouTube channel. I'll definitely leave a link in the description. Go subscribe. You know how we do it, Team Tigress, you know, spreading the love, we share the love, yeah? And he also has created a lot of amazing content, business insights, especially if you are an entrepreneur or looking forward to, you know, building a business and all that, you'll definitely learn a lot from his platform. So thank you so much, and yeah.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
All right, so I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you hit the like button. I always say sharing is caring. So go ahead and share this episode right now. Thank you. Bye-bye.